morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and call to order the September 4th, 2024, 11:30 a.m. Canvassing Board Recount Certification Meeting for the August 6, 2024 primary election. Recounts for the Commissioner of Public Lands and Democratic Precinct Committee Officer races for Seattle 46, 1370 and Shoreline 32, 0474. I am Canvassing Board Member Julie Wise, your King County Director of Elections, and with me I have Canvassing Board Member Kimberly Frederick, Chief Civil Deputy in the Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and Stephanie Sirkovich, Chief of Staff to the King County Council. We are also staffed today by Geraldine Hampton, our King County Elections Ballot Processing Manager. This meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the King County Elections Facebook page and will also be uploaded to our YouTube channel after this meeting. Now we're going to hear an overview from Geraldine Hampton on the recounts.
All right, good morning, everybody. As Director Wise mentioned, when we certified the primary election on August 20th, we had 3 contests that were in mandatory hand recount range. The first recount I'll talk about is the Commissioner of Public Lands contest. Fun fact, the last statewide hand recount we had was back in the 2004 governor's contest. And the last time we had a statewide hand recount in the primary was way back in 1960. Statewide, there was only a difference of 51 votes between second and third place. In a primary election, we are recounting between second and third place because the top 2 move on to the general election. King County's portion of the recount was nearly 560,000 ballots. And for a state contest to find itself in a mandatory hand recount range, there needs to be less than 1,000 votes apart and also less than 0.25% difference between both candidates. An overview of the process on how we in King County did our hand recount. For each batch of ballots, approximately between 100 and 250 ballots, we have a team of 2 staff who will sort the ballots into piles according to the votes. For example, the count table will have a pile of ballots with overvotes, where a voter selected more than one response, a pile for undervotes, where voters did not make a selection, and then piles for each of the candidates on the ballot, and then also a pile for write-in votes. After the sorting is complete, the team individually counts the ballots in each of the piles and compares the numbers with each other. If their numbers match, the team will raise their hand for a runner who will confirm the hand tally against our machine count at the certified results of the election. So for scheduling and staffing, we needed the help of over 100 team members to go through this process, all the way from our awesome short-term temporary staff to managers and our director. Everybody was there. It was an all-hands-on-deck process. We started activities on Monday, August 26th, and we were able to complete the process in 4.5 days of work. The outcome of this recount, we ended with 18 variances out of the 560,000 recounted ballots, so that's an accuracy rate of about 99.997% accuracy rate. And I'm going to give an overview of what kinds of variances we found. So 5 of those variances were due to a missed single correction. This is where a voter makes a selection, then crosses out that vote, but they don't select another option. We missed finding those in our opening and inspection process. We had another 5 variances were due to write-ins. So either the voter did not fill in the bubble and they wrote on the line, or they fill in the bubble and they don't put anything on the line. So we missed 5 of those. There were 3 instances where the team accidentally corrected away the wrong vote. So there was a selection made, the selection crossed out, a secondary choice made, and in the process of our work, we corrected the wrong vote. 3 of the variances were due to duplicating the wrong vote. And then the final 2 variances were due to scanning issues. We had one ballot where the voter had torn off the side of the ballot, and so it was frayed, and there was a little fold over just that contest of votes, so the system thought there were no votes there. And then the other instance was there was one box that was being scanned, and there was a jam in the middle of the scanning process, and so there was one ballot that was accidentally scanned twice, and one ballot that was not scanned at all. So we identified that in the hand recount process. So the net results has Dave Up the Grove down by 4 votes in King County, and then Sue Cool Peterson with no change. She had gone up 1 vote and down 1 vote, so net no change for Sue. The full summary report with all of the hand count results will be posted to our website after this meeting, along with the amended precinct results as well will be posted on the web. We had a lot of observer participation for this recount. So I went through and counted up all of our check-ins, our sign-in log, and we had over 150 visits just for that specific hand recount process. Moving on, now with our other recounts, we also, as Director Wise mentioned, we had 2 Precinct Committee Officer contests that were tied and therefore meet the requirements for a manual hand recount. So for a non-state contest, a mandatory hand recount must be less than 150 votes apart and also less than 1/4% difference between the 2 candidates. So this recount was a little bit different because we have to do some preparation for a hand recount when the contest is not on every single ballot that exists. So to prepare, we run some reports in our tabulation system where we identify which batches contain ballots that have the contest on it. The next step is to open all of our boxes and pull out those ballots that need to be recounted because it has the contest on the ballot. And then we sort those ballots into the correct precinct before we do the count. The rest of the counting process is the same, where we are sorting into piles based on the response, counting up the piles, and comparing those counts against the machine tabulated numbers. And then with every recount, any variances are researched and reported out as we do the certification. Both of those Precinct Committee Officer contests were completed yesterday, September 3rd. We had 6 people doing the locating and pulling of the ballots. And then we had 2 count teams, 1 for each contest. And we were able to complete all of the recount activities in about 3.5 hours of work. We had 6 observers still with us for the Precinct Committee Officer recounts. And we had 0 variances or 0 changes in the results. So those 2 contests still remain tied. And that is the conclusion of my recount summary.
Thank you so much for that report, Gerald. I think I'll just covered everything, but just also note that reiterating what she said, which is we're certifying the King County portion of the state race for Commissioner of Public Lands, and then the Secretary of State's office is looking to certify, we believe later this afternoon, all 39 counties' results. All right. Thank you so much, Geraldine, for that summary. Any questions from the board?
No, thank you.
So, due to a tie in the Democratic Precinct Committee Officer race for Seattle 46-1370, I'm going to be flipping a coin individually for each of the tied races, and we'll start with 1370. Heads is assigned to the first candidate listed on the ballot. It took a lot order to identify the placement of, or the order of candidates on the ballot, and we'll do another lot draw for the winner in a tied race. So heads is assigned to the first candidate listed on the ballot, and tails to the second candidate listed. Sam Zinner is assigned heads. Tamia Tahani is assigned tails. I'm gonna go flip the coin. Back. The canvas board shuffle. The coin landed on tails. That means Tamia Tahani is the winner for the Democratic Precinct Committee Officer of Seattle 46-1370. I will now sign, and the canvassing board will witness and sign the coin toss certificate for breaking a tie. and it reads, "We, the undersigned, hereby certify that the coin toss for breaking a tie between candidates having an equal and highest number for one and the same for office for the," let me say that again. "We, the undersigned, hereby certify that the coin toss for breaking a tie between candidates having an equal and highest number of votes for one and the same office for the August 6, 2024 primary election pursuant to RCW 29A 60221. I do. All right. For the second race, which is Precinct Shoreline 320474, heads is assigned to Abe Bender. Tails is assigned to the second candidate listed Bradley Cabe. And we'll go flip a coin.
Tails.
Might not have a job in the NFL, but we recorded another tails, and tails is a winner for Bradley Cabe. I will now sign, and the canvassing board will witness and sign the coin toss certificate for breaking a tie. Again, it reads, "We, the undersigned, hereby certify that the coin toss for breaking a tie between candidates having an equal and highest number of votes for one and the same office for the August 6, 2024 primary election pursuant to RCW 29A 60221.
I do.
I do.
Julie, I will now read you the oath of authenticity. It reads, "I solemnly swear that the returns and supporting documentation of the recounts for Commissioner of Public Lands, Democratic Precinct Committee Officers for Seattle 461370 and Shoreline 320474, the primary election held on August 6, 2024 in King County, State of Washington, are true and correct."
I do. Our next item is the certification of the canvassing board, and it reads, "The undersigned officers designated by law as constituting the canvassing board for the County of King, State of Washington, hereby certify that this is a full, true, and correct copy of the results for the recounts for Commissioner of Public Lands, Democratic Precinct Committee Officers for Seattle 461370 and Shoreline 320474 for the primary election held on August 6, 2024 in King County, State of Washington."
I do.
I do. Before we adjourn, I just want to thank our dedicated staff, full-time and short-term temporary employees. I know we were all done with the primary. Primary wasn't quite done with us. I think it was really an exceptional opportunity, though, to prove the accuracy in elections, which of course has been a bit of a topic the last 4 years. And with an accuracy rating of 99.997, this team should feel incredibly proud of the work that we do each and every day. Your dedication to show up for another week of long hours after already putting in a lot of hours for the primary and preparing for a large presidential election is beyond admirable. You are civil servants that are doing an exceptional job in the face of a lot of controversy, unfortunately. So deeply appreciate each and every one of you. Also really appreciate our observers that came out and observed. It is such an important part of democracy that folks are there to lay witness to the accuracy of our elections. I heard so many countless praises from all of the observers on every side, there for every campaign, about how impressed they are with the processes and the team members here at King County Elections. So thank you to our observers, thank you to our staff here. Really, really deeply appreciate each and every one of you. And all of our voters who showed up in the primary election. With 40%, of course we would have loved to see more. I think with 51 votes separating nearly 2 million votes is a testament that your vote matters, your voice matters, and you need to show up for every election. Even in a primary, you can't assume that your candidate's going to be there on that general election. Deeply appreciative of each of the canvassing board members who took several hours poring over voter intent. That was not easy, and so thank you all very much. Thanks, everyone. Any further business?
No.
All right. The King County Canvassing Board stands adjourned for the primary recount certification on Wednesday, September 4th at 11:47 a.m.